And it's so funny, man. Like people think crypto is risky. It's actually not. In my opinion, cryptocurrency is the least risky asset class in the world for several reasons. Number one, the market cycle. We have an event that repeats every 4 years that triggers a massive bullish catalyst. Not just that, but it's an incredibly inefficient market. And this is a very important point to hover on for a second. So we exist in a very inefficient market, meaning information is not at all equally distributed. It's distributed very slowly. There's a wide ranging view on what is considered to be something with longevity and not longevity. There's a great deal of disagreement as to what constitutes a cryptocurrency or a token with longevity, because there's just all this disagreement, because there's all this inefficient spreading of information. It's an inefficient market. Where if you look at the stock market, everyone gets quarterly earning reports at the same time. Everyone is looking at the same PE ratio. Everyone is looking at the same news article being released at the exact same time. The stock market is an incredibly efficient market where you're competing against legions of Harvard graduates and artificial intelligences that you're never going to outcompete. But in crypto, you're competing against Bitcoin. You're competing against. Okay, I don't want to shit on Bitcoin crypto too much because I think it's important to build bridges. But
Scott Melker, and
right.
Invest Answers.
You're competing against people who fundamentally don't know what they're talking about, have a surface level understanding, and so if you're able to apply an above average level of insight, you have the ability to outperform the market. You have the ability to find alpha, and that's what we did with HEX, and that applies to the rest of the ecosystem. The same is true with Pulsechain and PulseX. There is a perception that I think is diminishing of there being risk here. But if you look at the actual risk factors, I think they're all extremely tolerable. You know, it's so funny. Like if you look at the art market is an extremely illiquid market. You go 3, 5, 10 years without selling a piece of art, but it's still a multi-billion-dollar a year industry. It's still considered to be a totally acceptable diversification option, but it's wildly illiquid. Same thing with housing, same thing with other markets. Just because a market is illiquid does not mean it's illegitimate. It may be a risk factor, doesn't mean it's illegitimate. If you look at whales, Blackstone is a whale. It owns like a third of real estate in the U.S. Does that mean that real estate is a invalid investment opportunity just because there's massive whales? No, these things are risk factors. What's important is being able to differentiate what risk factor makes something illegitimate and which one doesn't. And the whole thing with HEX, with the rich art ecosystem, is that yeah, there's risk factors, but I think they're tolerable, and I think the pros far outweigh the cons. And because so many people have a problem and don't look into things, have a problem understanding them, don't look into things, the people who do, well, have the opportunity to outperform the market.
Very, very good stuff, man. And this is why Brendan has the biggest channel, some excellent alpha. A really amazing point that you made, that, you know, you're really, all you have to do is, you know, look past these idiots.
Yeah.
And you have a huge edge. But like, yeah, if you, in the stock market, it's so hard to get an edge because it's so concentrated. That's brilliant, dude. Yo, I'm taking that from you. I'm going to be using that point.
Please do. Yeah. But by the way, just to add on that point real quick,
yeah.
I've started reaching out to some of these stock guys, like these stock YouTubers. Man, it breaks my heart. Like I recently reached out to this 18-year-old kid who has like a portfolio of just like over 10 grand. And he's talking about the stock market. And anyways, like if he wants to fuck around with stocks, good for him, great for him. But my point is, I remember being 18, fucking around with stocks, and in retrospect, regretting it so much, because if I would have focused that time on crypto, my God, I'd be having this conversation on a yacht right now. because focusing on the right market matters. And I see these like stock guys who talk about like 12, 15% yearly returns. Like, this is amazing. And like, oh my God, if you got 10, 15% returns in crypto, like, kill yourself. Like there's no, it's horrible. If you're not like at least getting 10x returns within a year or two, that's like considered a massive
Yeah, no, it's a great point. Thank you so much for watching. If you enjoyed, please hit the like button and subscribe. For weekly meetings, courses, and to access my Discord, consider becoming a Patreon. If you're looking for a more personal experience, consider booking a one-on-one. All links are in the description.